Apa khabar and welcome to the show. And this week we are going to try to speak in both Bahasa Malaysia and Bahasa Inggeris, BM and BI. Why? Because today we've got a special guest who is Dr. Nurul Ashikin, who is going to, help us with our topic today. We are going live on two places, on Facebook. So if you got to ask any questions, you've got any questions in Facebook, silakan put it in the comment section. We will read it out as best as we can. And so Alan, and the other place that you can ask us questions is on Clubhouse, because we are live on Clubhouse sekali. So yang tu audio je. So if you've got any questions, just raise your hands and come in and ask. Once again, the regular programming orang ada kat sini, Rafiq, who is the licensed financial planner, with me, JJ, and we got, of course, Dr. Nurul Ashikin here. So, today's topic we're going to cover, remember, even though the main topic of the day is going to be Dilema when it comes to Jurang Pendapatan di Malaysia, you can ask any other questions sekalipun. So if you got any questions that you nak tanya, please feel free, just ask the questions and we'll go ahead. All right? Cool. Now, first of all, we do an introduction and, get to know first our guests. Dr. Nurul, can you tell us about your background? So in case people, maybe they don't know, never met you before, don't know about you, do you mind telling people? And don't worry about the background kalau ada family yang berbuat bising, because we are cool with it.
So, hi, thank you sebab jemput saya hari ni, and my name is Nurul Ashikin, and actually my background is totally not related with financial or economy.
Okay.
My background is urban resilience, urban planning lah kalau dekat Malaysia, perancangan bandar dan wilayah. Cuma di Japan, my study tu dia dah spesifik sikit kepada urban resilience and disaster management, but I will try my very best to answer questions related to poverty and finance, and I hope that I will do justice to your show.
Tak apa,
but of
mesti
course,
justice.
based on my background lah, apa yang I turun ke lapangan tu, insyaAllah mesti ada banyak point yang I boleh share, sebab kita memang betul-betul jumpa orang yang memerlukan tu every week, setiap satu had yang kita hantar bantuan kan. So I think ada banyak cerita yang kita dapat, ada banyak yang kita boleh share.
And that's the main reason kita nak buat show dia hari ni, sebab setengah orang yang bukan dalam kategori B40 takkan faham the masalah and all the problems that B40 go through. It's something that is foreign to a lot of people. So macam itulah. So the thing is, let's start with the first question, okay? But this one is more on your opinion. If you know facts, you please share the facts. Tapi we're talking about the Jurang Pendapatan, and kekayaan di Malaysia kini adalah isu that is always brought up, right? So what in your opinion, what are the things that is causing this?
If it sounds political, is it okay?
Go ahead. Let's not try to poke the bear. That's like I keep saying, don't poke the bear. We can from afar menjerit at the bear boleh, tapi we don't poke the bear.
Okay, I think you tanya jurang pendapatan lah kan. So actually again lah, I emphasize this is not my background, but based on apa yang I baca dan juga session, kita ada frequent session between, sebab I daripada political party, pejuang members, especially the leaders with economists. So kita selalu panggil the professional economists, researcher dalam bidang berkaitan to brief us, so that when we speak or when we need to rebut something as opponent, sebab kita opposition, so that kita ada substance lah dan kita faham. So tak adalah kita bagi point tu sembrono. So even though that this is my background, but I think kalau daripada view I, correct me kalau I salah.
No problem, so because don't worry, I'm also don't have financial background. I've got electrical engineering background, and I worked as a radio DJ for 20 years. So it's weird. Rafiq is the only financial person here.
Oh, okay. Good to know lah. Okay, so kalau yang selalu kami cakap pun, jurang pendapatan dia ada antara kaum dan juga ada yang antara geografi. So antara kaum-kaum yang utama dekat Malaysia pun memang dah ada jurang pendapatan, and by geography, kalau kita tengok dia punya data, apa yang saya nampak, by kawasan tu pendapatan dia agak berbeza, especially bila kita tengok antara Kuala Lumpur, Selangor dan juga Kelantan dan juga Sabah.
Right.
So I think ini dua perkara yang pada saya lah perlu diperhalusi kalau kita nak talk lebih banyak mengenai jurang pendapatan dan kekayaan. Dan of course kalau kat Malaysia dia define lagi dia punya gap ni kepada B40, T20 dan sebagainya.
Correct. And we got all the different categories when it comes to jurang pendapatan. Tapi let's ask the financial guy here. The question is, the question is, what is a safe gap when you talk about the jurang? I know it's a tough question, but what would be a safe gap between the distinctions? In your opinion, this is not a study, but in your opinion.
No, okay. So actually, I would actually start ataupun bermula daripada actually what is a livable income. So instead of talking about gap, so because when you talk about income, obviously income is also dependent on what the person does, what industry the person works in, where the person works, macam doktor cakap tadi, dia semua ada banyak faktor yang menjurus kepada pendapatan seseorang, yang ni. Tapi macam mana pun kalau kita compare balik what we talked about 4 weeks ago or two shows ago, and we talked about minimum wage for basic graduates, everything to be about 1,002, that in itself also has some fallacy, because Bank Negara 2 to 3 years ago has already stated, livable wage in Malaysia should be 2007 minimum.
Right. And
so if let's say apa yang missing with regards to all the conversations and everything, like people cakap kena naikkan income kan. Memang it's easy to say kena naikkan income, but what everyone doing in terms of making sure that everybody punya income goes up? Because the thing that a lot of people forget, if income goes up, inflation also goes up.
Correct. That's what I was just about to bring up. If income goes up, inflation go up, then sama je lah. Everything is just moving up at the same time.
So then logically, then when let's say livable wage semua orang dah dapat 2,007 ke atas. So but then the actual livable wage akan naik lagi.
Faham.
So at the same time, when you want to increase the income, you also need to look into all other factors in terms of the expenses and everything, to make sure that yes, once kita capai that amount or that figure for everyone in Malaysia, at least, it would actually be livable.
Correct. Now, Doctor, I want...
But my view, I'm sorry. Bukanlah nak differ sikit dengan you, tapi yang sebab yang BNM punya annual report yang dia suggest 2,700 as living wage tu kan, dia untuk Kuala Lumpur je tau. So so pada I lah, mungkin kita patut ada macam satu polisi ke, kalau di by kawasan certain gaji minima tu diperlukan. Kalau tak, macam kita keluarkan graduates, dia akan jadi susah lah. I bagi contoh lah dekat Japan macam mana. Sebab to be honest, I tak tahu sangat di Malaysia punya macam mana sebab I pun baru balik. So kalau dekat Japan, tahun pertama fresh grad kerja tu dia tak perlu bayar tax. So maksudnya contoh gaji you ni jumang, 200,000 yen contohlah. So you dapat 200,000 yen lah tanpa potongan untuk tahun pertama, untuk you stabilkan diri you as fresh grad. So I tak pasti dari segi faktual dia adakah sesuai di aplikasi di Malaysia, dan macam Rafiq cakap lah, sebab Rafiq lebih tahu pasal inflasi dan sebagainya, mungkinlah perlu diperhalusi lagi, tapi itu satu comparison study yang mungkin Malaysia boleh tengok lah kot untuk tolong fresh grad.
Right. I agree on that. Tapi Doktor, I nak tanya, this one is you turun padang, we all tak. You speak to people who are in the group, and their understanding of the jurang, why you think in their mind apa pasal there is a jurang?
Kalau itulah, kalau yang kita turun kan, kita pun memanglah try our very best tak nak nampak politikal walaupun kita turun tu dengan baju politik. Tapi lazimnya lah, once you turun dengan baju berlambang parti, you hantar bantuan, jawapan rakyat tu dia dah lain lah.
Okay.
Ni memang ni salah orang ni, salah tu, sebab dia lah jadi pemimpin, kita jadi miskin. Dia macam tu jawapan dia. So diorang tak faham the real context. Tapi ini mungkin akan kedengaran tidak enak bagi setengah orang. Tapi apa yang kita nampak bila kita turun, dari faktor kemiskinan tu, education level memainkan peranan lah. Tahap pemikiran mereka yang berada dalam keadaan yang susah tu dia sedikit berbeza juga dengan persekitaran dia, socialization dia. Dan ada satu perkara yang merungsingkan saya adalah bila kita turun di lapangan, dia bukan semua orang yang susah tu adalah memang orang yang susah walaupun dia bekerja. Tapi kita lebih ramai berhadapan dengan orang yang susah, dalam masa yang sama mereka tidak berminat untuk bekerja.
Okay.
So itu yang saya katakan, dia dah berkait rapat dengan cara pemikiran dan juga cara pendidikan diorang dan juga socialization, buatkan dia rasa bila you bantu, it's okay to be poor because people will help you. Macam itulah.
Wow, okay. I don't know where to go from that because I didn't expect that answer. Tapi when you talk about orang yang ada, I'm not saying semua orang macam tu. Ada
tak semua. Ada segelintir yang kami jumpa,
ada segelintir. So the question is, the segelintir ni, the age range is muda ke yang lebih tua?
I think pelbagai lah kot, sebab kami jumpa pelbagai ragam manusia daripada pelbagai umur. Dan kita pula tak ada data kan.
Right. The reason why I ask the question is because most orang muda ada aspirasi. Dia nak kita lah, dia nak ni lah, dia nak tu lah. So kalau dia ada mindset that I rather not do anything but and not have the aspirasi, so it's quite it's scary. Because Rafiq, can you remind us for what's the safety net? We selalu cakap when it comes to outside of B40, there's a safety net of how much you should have in your savings sebelum you nak fikir nak ambil beli ni lah, nak grow your wealth lah, jadi kaya. What was the threshold again?
Okay, so based on best practice lah. Based on best practice, kita selalu sarankan minimum 6 bulan daripada pendapatan. Okay, minimum 6 bulan daripada pendapatan untuk kita cakap itu sebagai simpanan kecemasan. Okay, simpanan kecemasan. Jadi dan macam Jeje cakap lah, once kita dah ada amount banyak tu, jadi bila kita nak ambil risiko kata untuk pelaburan atau apa-apa yang lain, at least basic keperluan asas kita dah settle. So kalau macam tiba-tiba hilang kerja ke apa, kita ada duit. Tapi kalau bergantung kepada apa yang doktor cakap tadi tu, dia dah jadi isu lain. Sebab sama macam dalam bidang kewangan. Okay, kita boleh tolong orang yang ada resource kewangan. Kita boleh tolong orang yang nak memperbaiki diri dia. Tapi isu kalau kita cakap tadi pasal jurang pendapatan lah semua, macam mana kita nak bantu orang yang nak mengharapkan bantuan sentiasa?
How do you talk to people like that?
Itu soalan lah.
I mean, kalau orang cakap macam tu to you, Dr. Nurul, how do you react selalunya? Untuk for me, I think I'll be like, macam how I reacted just now lah. I don't know, I wouldn't know how to react.
Kalau our side kan, sebab ni apa yang I selalu remind to my team lah. Kita takkan judge dia orang langsung, kita just akan faham apa yang perlukan dia ke arah itu ataupun apa buat dia fikir macam tu, so that kita boleh create another awareness. Sebab kalau kita terus menghukum atau judge dia dah takkan nak dekat dengan kita. So dan lazimnya kita akan detect banyak lagi masalah di sebalik kemiskinan. I think bila kita cakap pasal jurang pendapatan, jurang kekayaan, semua ni dia sebenarnya I think fasa atas sekali kot mungkin yang
Dia tak,
orang-orang yang seperti anda semua boleh cakap lah.
correct, dia
Tapi
tak terfikir benda tu langsung.
lebih kurang lah. Sama lah
Right.
macam kemiskinan haid, bila I bawa isu tu,
Correct.
ramai yang macam serius lah, sampai ramai yang macam tak mungkin tak ada orang tak mampu beli, but itulah kemiskinan.
That's the thing, people tak faham. There some people kais pagi makan pagi, kais pagi makan pagi meaning kalau hari tu tak ada kerja, hari tu tak ada makan, and people cannot understand that. It's too foreign to a lot of people who especially who more or less watching on Facebook right now. Sebab they think of it, kalau you ada internet, you ada phone, that's like berapa ratus dah sebulan.
Betul.
So we to understand that people don't even have that is it's foreign to
It's a
people.
foreign
Tapi
concept.
correct, but what you brought up just now, I just nak tanya, you said you do not judge them. You try to understand them. From that, what's your understanding of why they have that mindset? Sebab kalau kita boleh faham that mindset, like you said, it's easier to guide them towards a financial independence, earn a living and all that. So in your understanding, through your cakap dengan orang tu, the people turun padang, what is the understanding of why they have that kind of mindset?
Oh, ni kalau I bagi jawapan ni takut ada aktivis yang marah. Dia sama macam bila kami mendekati homeless, orang-orang yang homeless. Dia pun sama juga, ada perdebatan yang berlaku. Ada yang katakan mereka jadi homeless sebab dia ada, satu tidak mahu berubah dan sebagainya. Tapi ada yang katakan sebab dia terdesak. So sama dalam keadaan kes kemiskinan yang kita cakap macam ni.
Right.
Kita sarankan, for example kalau bawah parti, saya tak pasti parti lain, tapi kalau pejuang, bawah sayap Pejuanita, kita even bagi tolong you dapatkan loan kalau you nak buat bisnes dan sebagainya. Kalau you nak buat bantuan perniagaan, you nak start balik you ibu tunggal dan sebagainya, kita tolong.
Right.
So apa yang kita buat bila kita tak judge dia adalah kita cuba dapatkan dia ke arah itu. Kalau you nak berubah, you nak kerja, you nak bantuan perniagaan, you nak berniaga, kita tolong. Dan even kalau you jual pun barang, kita akan try as much as possible to promote lah guna medium-medium. Sebab tu kami ada biro keusahawanan lah, biro ekonomi dan sebagainya, kita tolong. Tapi peringkat awal kita nak dekat dengan dia yang kita tolong tu, yang kita just kena dengar dan faham dulu apa yang dia fikir dan kita try twist from there lah. Tapi benda ni memang saya kena fahamkan dia tidak mudah lah. Tidak mudah dan kadang-kadang kita kena accept yang kita tak boleh tukar orang tu kalau orang tu tak nak berubah.
Betul. No, I agree on that. And the soalan is, like you said, you tolong them with the finances all. Are there people like Rafiq, my friend over here, who guide them on how to, sebab kadang-kadang kalau orang yang tak faham pasal finances, you bagi duit to start a business, you might lose money not working it right. So you know what I mean?
Yes, faham.
So is there guidance for them as well?
Okay, kalau macam bila kita jumpa dengan kes yang macam ni side saya adalah kita bagi bantuan barang makanan dan juga sebagainya. So kalau dia nak berniaga dan dia nak ubah nasib dia, kami akan pass kepada biro yang lain. Bawah samalah, bawah organisasi yang sama, iaitu kita ada biro ekonomi, biro keusahawanan yang memang dia spesifik task dia untuk tu je. Untuk assist dan untuk guide orang tu, untuk bagi kursus sama apa semua, mungkin next time kita boleh bawa Rafiq masuk kursus. For example, baru ni kita buat, dia baru nak start daripada awal. So kita ajar dia macam mana you buat business guna Facebook, guna Twitter, guna Instagram. Daripada awal, from scratch, and then macam mana you nak manage benda tu including your financial lah. Sebab kita ada exco keusahawanan kita, Cik Azri. Dia ajar semua orang daripada A to Z, balik semula. Even though benda tu kita dah ulang almost every week, kita akan ajar balik. Bila kita ada orang baru, kita ajar balik. Sebab benda ni dia ongoing journey sebenarnya nak tolong orang ni. You cannot stop.
No, because knowledge is a powerful thing. Knowledge grows, knowledge is constantly kita kena belajar. And speaking about belajar, Rafiq, basic financial knowledge when it comes to businesses, what should you look out for to slowly grow your business?
I think so I think kita dah cakap benda ni sebelum ni. So okay, on the marketing, on semua tu tak apa, kita biar kepada expert lah. Kita biar kepada expert untuk cakap. Tapi daripada segi perniagaan, salah satu kesalahan yang ramai business owner yang barulah, lagi-lagi yang baru buat, so dia tak separate dia punya income perniagaan dengan perbelanjaan peribadi dia. So maksudnya duit daripada bisnes tu dia guna untuk perbelanjaan peribadi. Tapi even saying that, taking into account the people in that income group kan, so they might not even have the luxury untuk separate kan. Faham tak? So bila kita cakap tadi, so yalah, kita cakap orang yang ada bisnes, selalu kita assume orang yang ada bisnes yang income besar ni semua, but diorang punya bisnes ni is bisnes technically micro SME, lagi kecil lah. Dia macam gerai small start punya ni. So and the reason why they're doing business is bukan untuk nak kaya. The reason why they're doing business is that dia ada duit nak makan at this point of time. Duit untuk tempat tinggal, duit untuk all the basic necessity. So your general theoretical punya things that you learn in kata MBA classes ke ni semua might not be fully applicable to this group.
Understand.
So sebab saya cakap lah, tapi hanya what needs to be taught to these people is still duit, kalau their business is at the point where they can actually then start separating, so they should not take more than what they need at that point of time, supaya duit tu boleh go back into the business untuk kembangkan business, so that they get more money. So at the start tu it will be different. At the start tu how for them to make money so that they have enough income. But they need guidance. So they need macam doktor cakap tadi lah, they need constant guidance in order to make sure that they do get to the point where now, I actually make more, at least for my compared to what I need for my basic needs. So at least that should be the first checkpoint from a business. If let's say your bureau economy is going to the business side and everything, that should be the basic first checkpoint. Once they get there, then only you can start to talk about perancangan kewangan and all those other things that to help them get out from that situation sooner instead of later.
Correct. And when you talk about that situation, I'm going to go back to something that created controversy based on what you said earlier. All right. It's just people don't understand how poor some people are. Can you explain, boleh cakap tak? Just so that people can understand what B40 means. Because sometimes kadang-kadang when we letak label kepada sesuatu, the humanity of the person hilang. Dia jadi label. So when you kata B40, it's like, it's just orang B40. But it's not orang. You don't see the person, you tak faham manusia tu. So when it comes to the miskin, what can you explain roughly what the whole thing is when it comes to how poor people can be?
Saya ada pergi satu rumah ni. Kita pun ragu-ragu, adakah ini rumah? Sebab kita ada data tau. Kita ada senarai nama orang yang susah dan perlukan bantuan. So bila kita datang, nak kata macam pondok tak pondok, nak kata macam rumah tak rumah. Dia macam kind of like woods that you just stack it. You just susun and then you letak ada tong untuk air, and then you just ada kain-kain nak cover so that you can change your clothes or anything. So tak nampak macam rumah, nampak macam pondok. I think that just like kind shades kot kita boleh cakap. Tapi orang ada dekat dalam tu. Dan orang dalam rumah tu, anak dia je ada 9 orang. And I datang dengan bakul makanan with my team, kita bawa satu bungkus pack. Memang selalunya kita cakap bagi satu rumah kita akan bagi satu bungkus pack lah. Sebab kami punya stok pun time tu agak limited. Tapi bila dia cakap satu pack tak cukup sebab saya ada 9 anak and then keluar kecil and dia punya kecil tu, I tanya semua lebih kurang setahun jarak. The reason why inilah yang kontroversi tu, yang bila orang melahirkan anak sebab dia tak mampu nak beli tuala wanita, pad. Why? Because women's biology is different. Ada orang yang dalam tempoh dia menyusukan anak for 2 years, normal phase lah menyusukan anak, dia tidak akan datang period langsung. So 2 years plus 9 months you pregnant, almost 3 years you takkan period. So dia akan jimat besar. Tapi ada perempuan dalam tempoh dia menyusukan anak, dia still lagi period. So dia cuma akan jimat dalam 9 bulan. So keluarga yang kita jumpa yang resort ke arah untuk pregnant tanpa family planning, dan mereka pun tak tahu apa tu family planning sebab dia orang yang susah. Dia tak terfikir, dia tak ada akses kepada that education. Itu ke arah mereka. Dan ada yang saya jumpa dia guna plastik setiap bulan sebab diorang tak mampu. And then kalau you cakap, why don't you use cloth pad? You use kain, just like people zaman dulu kan, the 70s. Air pun tak ada, tadah air hujan, you nak suruh orang guna something like that. Dia nak basuh guna apa? Sanitary hygiene is something yang luxury tau, yang bukannya orang yang miskin boleh dapat. Makanan pun dah share. Makan satu hari seminggu. So kemiskinan ni sebenarnya dia beyond daripada apa yang kita fikir, dan kalau you kaya ataupun you membesar daripada keluarga yang sederhana pun you takkan faham.
Right.
Melainkan you betul-betul turun ke lapangan dan pergi ke banyak negeri, bukan satu negeri je. Setiap don, setiap daerah tu you akan jumpa satu keluarga yang tidak dijangka, yang di luar akal fikiran kita. Tu yang ada tempat, ada tanah. Yang homeless, yang tepi-tepi jalan tu semua, lagi pelbagai cerita.
Setengah orang tak faham the luxury of air dahaga, turn on tap, minum.
Yes, betul.
You know, tangan saya kotor, turn on tap, basuh dengan soap. 20 second happy birthday 2 kali. Orang tak faham because we like, oh, you have to do that for your hygiene. Tetapi setengah orang tak ada tap. They don't have that. So how are they even supposed to get out of that if the starting point is not even the ability to wash their hands? So it's very hard for people to understand, which goes to okay, I don't get political. Okay, I don't want to get political, but in a general consensus when it comes to people, what kind of help do they need from the government financially?
In terms of period poverty or generally?
In generally, when it comes to I know women and poverty in general, what do they need when it comes to poverty? Period poverty, of course, you know, the free 1 month free sanitary, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. Tetapi in general, what else?
Okay, kalau sekarang and the current help yang government akan bagi is the 600, I think. Kan, 600 per month, 600 monthly from JKM. 600 tu kita pun tahu not even close to gaji minima, not even close to the living wage kan. So 600 tu tak ada apa. Pada I, dia punya bantuan yang untuk bantu betul-betul kemiskinan ni, dia kena inklusif dan betul-betul komprehensif untuk membantu orang. For example, kalau you dah bagi monthly punya bantuan, dan I think zakat is doing pretty good, is doing good job lah sebab dia dah provide rumah yang dia bayarkan sewa. Tapi dia perlu disusuli pada saya dengan kerja, memberi kerja.
Right.
I kan kalau I bagi contoh Japan, orang akan marah cik bagi contoh Japan, but I have to.
Okay.
For example macam ni
okay.
kita ada
sebelum
sistem.
orang marah, I want to say something. At one stage, I know this is going to be sensitive, there was a war and Japan was devastated. And look at them now because they grew from their mistakes. Okay? So, it's good to learn from Japan when it comes to growing from disaster or from a bad situation. So, go ahead. Tell us about Japan.
Okay, I patah balik ke Malaysia sikit. Kita ada PPRT kan, yang rumah bantuan kos rendah tu kan.
Yep.
Tapi kes yang kita jumpa orang yang terpaksa tumpang ke rumah. Ini kes yang I baru je jumpa, I think few weeks back kot. I think 2 weeks back kot. Kita hantar bantuan, dia rumah yang kontena. I think yang orang, macam mana nak explain? Yang banyak-banyak pintu, sambung-sambung rumah, so dia sewa dalam satu bilik. So I hantar bantuan tuala wanita lah sebab dia pun taklah berapa jauh sangat daripada rumah I, maybe dalam 20 minit. So 20 minit driving kita hantar. I tanya dia, kenapa you tak mohon rumah PPRT, rumah flat kos rendah tu kan, sebab sebulan sewa dia dalam 100. And dia ambil cucah upah kemas gerai, basuh pinggan, dia bolehlah bayar 100 tu. Dia mohon berkali-kali, buat rayuan berkali-kali, tak dapat-dapat. So macam mana sebenarnya kita nak tolong orang? So dan sedangkan ada kes orang yang ambil PPRT ni dia bagi sewa pun kepada orang lain. So ada banyak loophole yang sebenarnya yang perlu diperhalusi kalau nak tolong orang keluar daripada kemiskinan. Dan saya bagi contoh macam kalau ada suami tu bayar pencen di Japan lah dia bayar pencen untuk isteri, kita panggil nemkin. Dan kalau suami tu mati, meninggal dunia, isteri tu akan dapat dia punya pencen setiap bulan. I think Malaysia pun ada konsep tu. Tapi dia disusuli kalau you tak ada rumah, dia sediakan satu rumah government. Dan kalau you perlukan kerja, dia akan bagi kerja ikut you punya expertise dan qualification. Dan juga anak tu akan ditanggung.
Yeah, which goes back to education.
Dia education lah dan juga pada I itu yang sistem yang komprehensif tu. So dia tolong single mom tu supaya bila dia dah kematian penanggung keluarga, dia tidak ke arah kemiskinan. So I think itu banyak perkara yang beberapa kementerian kena perhalusi dan kerjasamalah untuk selesaikan masalah Malaysia ni. Dan I think Malaysia kita ada banyak loophole yang tidak melihat kemiskinan ni dari segi faktor yang menyeluruh. Kalau you bagi dia bantuan setiap bulan, dan apa dia nak kerja, dan adakah you tolong dia dapatkan kerja, dan jika dia tak ada education sebab dia tak boleh comprehend that situation, apakah khusus ataupun bantuan yang diberikan, dan adakah pegawai yang dihantar tu betul-betul membantu. Sedangkan Malaysia kita ada kekurangan dari segi social worker, sedangkan social worker ni perjuangan yang dah sangat lama. Dan social worker ni kalau di negara maju lain, especially di Japan, dia sangat function. Kalau you tak hantar anak you pergi vaksin ataupun medical check up, bila surat medical check up tu datang kat rumah pun social worker dah datang kat depan rumah nak check you abuse budak ke tak. So itu satu perkara yang pada I banyak perkara yang kita perlu perhalusi dekat Malaysia sebab konsep kemiskinan ni luas. Bila you selesaikan satu perkara, dia akan berkait kepada perkara lain yang perlu diselesaikan dan akhirnya kita akan berjayalah basmi kemiskinan. For a start, period poverty yang memang semua perempuan perlu akses, dan kita pun tak ada kawalan harga ceiling untuk tuala wanita. Sedangkan benda tu isu yang dah orang tak boleh akses dan itu adalah necessity. Dan permulaan I viral sebenarnya adalah waktu PKPD sebab I bagi bantuan tuala wanita tu kepada rumah-rumah yang kena PKPD sebab diorang tak boleh keluar, tapi bakul makanan kerajaan tu tak ada tuala wanita. And I release my statement attack dekat media. Bukan sebab I nak famous, tapi sebab once I ada attack certain minister dekat dalam media, the next bakul makanan dia hantar untuk PKPD, dia masukkan tuala wanita. So that's the purpose. Sebab I nak tolong dengan cepat, dia orang ada resources. So I have to use my ability or my benefit as opposition lah to attack dan langgar je. So itu apa yang I buat lah.
Which brings me to the next point. It doesn't. I'm not saying it's not the government's responsibility, tapi yes, it is the government's responsibility to tolong the rakyat. Tetapi pihak swasta also can help. Alright. Before I go to you and ask you in your general opinion, tak sepatutnya it had to be this one what all swasta have to do. I want to ask Rafiq, is there benefits when it comes to CSR projects for companies?
There are CSR, there are tax benefits for companies who do CSR.
Right.
I'm not sure. I haven't because corporate tax is not my expertise. I used to remember back when I was still working. Actually, for companies can get double tax deduction if I'm not mistaken for CSR related initiatives.
So let's go, since already got benefit for pihak swasta. Now, in your opinion, Doctor, when it comes to pihak swasta, how can they help?
Yeah, the problem is that private sector cannot donate to political party, but they can donate to NGO. And then pun bukan semua I think yang dia boleh dapat tax exemption kan. And then certain foundation, if you donate pun, not all foundation can give you tax exemption. So, but I hope that CSR, for example, company yang buat pad lah tuala wanita, why don't you punya CSR tu you distribute kepada atau bagi kat government lah kalau diorang perform dan function, bagi betul-betul dekat orang yang memerlukan, instead of you pass you punya produk tu ke mana-mana tak tahu for tax exemption, kita tak nampak pun orang dapat. So I think CSR untuk beberapa perkara tu perlu decentralizekan supaya kita ada proper distribution. Itu my opinion lah. For example, kalau CSR untuk inilah, I boleh bagi contoh tu lah, Pampers baby, diapers kan, diapers baby dan juga pad. Centralizekan ke one center, sepatutnya government lah. Government punya center, dan dia kena ada proper distribution yang betul-betul ikut population kepada kawasan yang memerlukan. Kalau tak, dia akan tidak seimbang dan tidak membantu. But I agree memang CSR daripada private sector ni kita kena betul-betul centralizekan dia dan kena ambil manfaat. Kalau tak, you just, ini benda ni biasa dalam political party pun kan, bila you in power akan banyak company yang guna konon-konon CSR for the sake of tax exemption, tapi kita tak nampak pun barang tu ke mana.
Faham.
Okay. Actually, okay, so when you talk about, because we're talking about pets, we're talking about poverty. So actually, to be honest, when I first read you punya post tu kan, the thing that first came to my mind was the story dekat India tu.
Batman ke?
Batman.
Oh, Batman.
Yeah, where like it was actually made into movie back in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, where like this person actually saw it as a problem, then actually took it into his own hands in order to create low-cost sanitary pads for the women there. And I'm pretty sure India punya poverty problem because of the size of the population, the size of the country and everything is probably as bad or worse compared to, let's say, Malaysia lah. So the question is, like you were saying earlier just now, for CSR point of view, like from companies who are involved in the manufacturing of these pads to also play a role lah, like
correct,
in terms of helping out. Maybe it doesn't have, I'm not sure because I'm not a female, everything. So you are more equipped than this. So like, are you saying, okay, would they come up with the same quality of ni, or like what in India? So because I was assuming that, because when I read it and everything, it's like low quality, but is the minimum requirement for sanitary. So what would be, let's say, your request to them? Yeah, because logically, from a financial point of view, if they can, if let's say there's a bare minimum for them to provide, right? A bare minimum for them to provide, and they can like actually it's a lower cost, means that they can produce more. So means that there will be technically a bigger coverage lah. So what's your views on that?
Oh, anyway, if my article last time reminds you of Batman, means that you are a very brilliant man. Sebab ramai yang baca tu terus, bodohnya doktor ni. Ya, betul, tak ada tolong wanita terus. Tapi since you baca, you terus teringat Batman, means you pandai lah. So you dah already aware of that issue. So for me, it should be in same quality. And even waktu the budget previously, waktu announcement yang 180,000 kot. 180 ke 130, I pun tak ingat. Antara 130 ke 180 lah. B40 punya kanak-kanak akan dapat free kit tu, one off.
Right.
The debates yang ongoing dekat Twitter, adakah dia akan the same quality, good quality, ataupun dia orang akan lower the quality. But in terms of sanitary hygiene, because period poverty not just because of the access to menstrual pad, but also regarding to the sanitary hygiene, it should be in good quality and the same quality. Barulah dia akan jadi betul-betul service, corporate service. Kalau tak, you just bagi sebab you kena bagilah, which is not fair to the ladies lah, especially to the less fortunate.
Correct. And when it came to that subject also, I tell you, I'm one of those, when I first read it, because I cannot understand the logical thinking of that, because I have kids and I know how expensive kids are. So I'm like, lagi mahal kalau ada anak rather than, so that's my thinking. But that is based on my education and my
Betul.
my upbringing. I see that as bringing a child to this world, it costs money. So that I didn't see the part of the disconnect of that part. I thought.
Yeah, I understand. Itu ramai yang pun cakap, but like I said earlier, because of women's biology, some women will not get a period at all.
Correct.
For 2 years kot. Itulah 2 years breastfeeding tu dia takkan dapat period. Ada yang akan dapat period, so bergantung kepada biologi perempuan, dan ada yang terdesak. Itu je yang dia boleh fikir untuk survive. And they don't have access to family planning, and dia tak fikir dia jangka masa panjang. Itu ya soalan yang cakap, kenapa you tak educate dia pasal family planning?
Correct.
I mean like, takkanlah you nak pergi, orang tu dah susah, dia dah resort to pregnant pun time tu, you nak pergi judge dia, apa hal dia tak family planning
Yeah.
Dah lah dia dah tension. Kita boleh ajak along daripada dalam keadaan yang kita bagi bantuan, kita bagi tuala wanita tu, daripada tu secara halus kita boleh cakap, okay kak, saya sarankan akak pergi ke klinik kesihatan terdekat, selepas ni akak ambil pil perancang dan sebagainya. Itu boleh kita buat. Tapi kalau dia dalam keadaan you dah pregnant dan sebagainya, you terus judge dia, kenapa akak kepada ni, orang dah terdesak. You cannot do that lah, orang akan halau you terus keluar daripada rumah tu kan. So yang I fahamkan kepada semua orang adalah, period poverty punya perjalanan ni dan juga awareness, dia akan bergerak sekali dengan perancangan keluarga punya awareness. Dia tak boleh diasingkan. You nak solve the period poverty issues, you want to educate women about the sanitary hygiene, at the same time you have to educate them about family planning. Kalau tak, dia akan jadi terpisah dan juga dua-dua ni berkait rapat sebenarnya.
And let's talk about wanita sekali. There's a financial gap between gender sekali. You know what I mean? And it's not just poverty, but it comes with gender as well. This is just a general opinion. You being a woman, of course. How can it change financially? I mean, how can it change in Malaysia? I mean, the worldwide problem. It's not just Malaysia. It's worldwide when it comes to gender income inequality. So, in your opinion, what do you think can be done?
I don't know. Kita tak ada satu polisi yang khusus kan untuk membela wanita terhadap pekerjaan. Even yang last time waktu government, I think Kerajaan Pakatan Harapan kot, I pun tak ingat sangat, waktu dia cakap pasal lamakan maternity leave. Lamakan maternity leave, itu pun boleh jadi huge debate. In Japan, dia punya maternity leave tu up to a year. Tapi apakah natijah dia daripada a year maternity leave tu? Perempuan tu tidak akan dinaikkan pangkat, no matter how good you are. Hanya lelaki akan dinaikkan pangkat. So even the great country like Japan pun discriminate women. Dan perempuan tidak akan berada di tahap tertinggi. Dalam parlimen pun tengoklah, Japan bilangan wanita dia sangat sedikit compare to Malaysia lah. Malaysia lagi meraihkan penglibatan wanita. But still, jurang pendapatan antara wanita dan lelaki adalah tidak sama dekat Malaysia. Dan kalau kita cakap pasal kuota, ramai yang akan debate, especially guys lah, why you need kuota. If you are good, then go by merit. Tapi dalam keadaan sekarang yang ada ketidaksasamaan, untuk peringkat permulaan, we can go by kuota dulu lah untuk sasamakan. Dan I faham sangat diskriminasi tempat kerja, diskriminasi majikan, diskriminasi terhadap biologi wanita sebab diorang kena cuti bersalin dan sebagainya, tu memang perkara yang berlaku. Dan sampai sekarang pun kita tak ada satu polisi yang khusus ataupun labor law pun tidak dispecifiedkan ke arah membela wanita ke arah ini. So I think ada banyak perkara yang perlu diperhalusi dan saya harap siapa yang in power tu akan take note lah mengenai perkara ni. Again, ini pun jurisdiction of few ministry sebenarnya. Dia bukan satu kan, dia ada pelbagai.
Betul.
So kena ada banyak coordination among ministry lah kot.
Conversations between ministry. I shall just leave it there before I go and get myself into trouble. But when it comes to the speaking to the B40 group and stuff like that, when it comes to finances, who controls it? The husband or wife? Kalau it's a couple.
Itu Rafiq ke I tu?
No, this to you.
To you.
And to you. when it comes to the, because I know me lah, I be honest, I'm very bad with my finances. I rather refer to my wife to help me out on my finances. You know, making sure everything's on time, payment here, there. I do that. So when it comes to the B40 group, is there like that, or is just the husband control ke the, what is it like?
I tak sure, tapi I rasa kalau seseorang nak bahagikan antara lelaki dengan perempuan, dia kena tengoklah isteri dia gila shopping tak. Kalau you trust your wife, isteri you gila shopping, sama je kan.
No,
So I not sure,
because
maybe ini Rafiq kot boleh explain siapa patut manage better. Tapi kalau I'm very rigid, so I kena manage I punya own financial lah. Sebab I memang dah set 1,000 sebulan tu I akan asingkan terus untuk gaji, untuk saving nak I tak usik. So
which
I
which
tak tahu orang lain.
which is a good point. Now, Rafiq, we have brought this up. Kita pernah discuss about this, about how to puratakan your income kalau boleh lah. I mean, I know B40 is hard. I know already we cakap how about the poverty level. Kita faham how bad things can get. But we are now going to discuss a bit on people who are in B40 tetapi ada wages, but how to separate the wages, just in case anyone is watching and they didn't watch our shows before this. The breakdown, the safe breakdown of when income masuk, macam mana nak separate it.
Okay, so assuming lah, so macam you cakap lah, kita assume orang tu ada income, orang tu ada kerja ni. So okay, so general practice is you try to ada budget lah. Ada budget and you split into at least 40% into your commitment, 40% into your expenses, 30% into your commitments and 30% into your savings. That would be ideal situation lah. Obviously kurang komitmen lagi banyak saving lagi bagus lah kan.
So untuk orang yang tak faham the commitment tu maksudnya,
commitment tu hutang
macam motor lah, kereta lah, rumah lah, hutang tu komitmen.
So
expenses adalah
plan,
makanan,
whatever semua.
So expenses adalah makanan,
air,
elektrik, air dan segalanya.
So expenses tu sepatutnya is you punya keperluan lah. Is your keperluan asas, all that lah. Hutang tu can be related, but it's in terms commitment that you cannot do anything about it. So you can still play around with expenses. Perbelanjaan tu you still can adjust. You can adjust, so macam, okay, how do I spend less? Things like that, if it's possible lah. Kan? Tapi kalau macam commitment tu, because it's something that you owe to somebody else ni, so the only way you adjust is tak bayar. Right, you tak bayar, because I had people that I've met before that had issues with their income, that they just made a choice not to pay. So tukar phone number setiap 2 bulan, setiap 3 bulan, because cannot pay the bill, and also because they were getting calls from the banks. And that actually really happens lah. That's really happens. But on the point that you were asking earlier to Doctor, so to me, I actually agree with Doctor punya point of view lah, in terms of siapa jaga duit. Okay, siapa jaga duit is the person who can jaga duit lah. So
no jantina to it lah.
Yeah, no jantina. So duit, technically money doesn't really care whether you're a guy or a girl, dia tak kisah, right? It is genderless in general lah. It's genderless in general, and it's like whoever yang, when you have the resource, you take care of it properly, you will get benefit out of it.
Betul.
If you have the resource, that's the key assumption here. If
but
you have
kalau
the resource,
I memang definitely will take care of my own money lah.
Because Doctor, you have the luxury to having your own money, but there are situations where single income family, where the husband makes just enough, so then the wife tak ada pun income, tak ada pun nafkah. So because so
itu pun satu isu yang kita selalu jumpa.
Itu satu isu lah. Kan, itu satu isu in terms of ni kan. So in those kind of situation, then the wife just have to make do with whatever that is made available to her. kan. So nak beli groceries apa semua pun is from the husband punya
Betul.
side. And
Correct.
some husbands then do allow their punya wife to get additional income and everything, but in even if we talk about in our religion pun, whatever income that the wife gets, there's no obligation for the wife to use it for the family. It's supposed to be the wife punya apa? Ni lah. So if the wife wants to help the family, then good for her lah.
Correct.
And tu I think ramai yang wanita tidak tahu kot. So I think itu pun case yang kita jumpa, especially single mom lah. Yang lead dia kepada divorce adalah sebab ramai tidak faham tanggungjawab siapa yang perlu menanggung keluarga dan sebagainya. So akhirnya dia tu, I think itulah bila you cakap pasal financial ni, dia akan lead kepada banyak lagi perkara-perkara lain yang berkait. But nafkah ni adalah isu besar untuk wanita dan memang antara punca penceraian pun di Malaysia.
Right. And that's why kita nak reiterate the fact that please understand increase your financial literacy so semua orang faham and you understand your situation. We're not just talking about B40, we're talking about everybody here. You have to know your own finances. It's very important. Oh, just by the way, if you see that scan logo kat bawah tu, if you scan it right now, you can have a free financial health check by licensed financial planner. They will check your finances and give it to you and say, okay, this is red line, this is, they'll show you where all the dangers, they won't teach you how to do it. So if you want to scan that. Now, doctor, we're going to talk about the income. We're coming close to 1 hour already. So let's talk about the most important thing, the income that is coming in. And one of the things you speak for also, besides women and poverty, I believe a lot of people want to speak for the wages. What do you think a minimum wage should be, in your opinion? I know we brought it up at the start. I know we mentioned, kita dah cakap, I know what BNM, Bank Negara Malaysia spoke about the 2007, tetapi that is just untuk KL je. Your opinion, what do you think a good minimum wage would be?
It should be the same as living wage, my opinion. But of course, I think we need proper research lah how to implement that, because I don't think it's going to be easy. But if the minimum wage is going to be lower than the living wage, it's going to be very difficult, especially to the fresh grad. And you akan just buat fresh grad tu terus miskin. Dia keluar dengan PTPTN and then dapat gaji lower than living wage. They cannot survive. They have to pay rent and so on. So I think it's going to be very difficult.
Correct. Speaking about fresh grad, both Rafiq and I not fresh at all. We don't understand that already. Dah lama tak fikir. Especially now, when I'm sure you speak to a lot of younger people as well. What are their worries when it comes to after studies? When they go into the working environment, what are their worries when it comes to wages and stuff like that?
PTPTN. Because
PTPN. Right.
PTPTN, they cannot afford to pay the PTPTN. At the same time, they have to pay rent. They have to pay for car because our public transport is not very reliable at all. We don't have proper transportation system and so on. So, and at the same time, fresh grad punya gaji tu ada yang lower than 2,500 pun, walaupun dia degree. Sebab kita tak ada satu mechanism that you can check whether the company is paying correct minimum wage for fresh grad or not, something like that. So I think itu among the things the complaints that we receive lah.
Faham. And
we have to fight for the fresh grad.
Correct. And because of inflation and the economical situation after post-pandemic, everybody is desperate. They're like, okay lah, tak apa, asal ada kerja, I buat je lah. So some people might take advantage of that. Which Rafiq, what was the bottom line that we came up with when it comes to income, if possible?
I think what we said last time, a starting salary of 2005 would be the bare minimum.
Yep.
Would be the bare minimum, like especially for a fresh grad. It shouldn't go below that.
Correct.
Okay, it shouldn't go below. If possible, should be higher, but that would also, like what macam doktor cakap lah, it's not something that we can just cakap okay, so tomorrow everybody bayar 2,000, bayar all fresh
700.
grad start 2,500. Dia like it would actually probably have a huge impact to the whole economy. Sebab apa, like I said, it's like okay, you increase costs, but then income on the other side doesn't increase for the businesses, because businesses also okay, in some businesses they're trying to keep the cost down. Even macam eco shop pun dah naik 10 cents per ni. So from RM2 10 cents to RM2 20 cents. Right. It seems like a small increase tau. It seems like a small increase,
Right.
but that also shows like the impact lah of from inflation point of view, so on and so forth. Okay.
Correct.
So
And
I actually
I just wanted to say is the 2005 I forgot about a few weeks back, Doctor, kita buat satu show, kita tanya boleh tak you jadi a millionaire by the age of 40 if your pay is 2005, say around the age 20 something. The starting pay 2005, and we did the calculation, boleh. Kalau savings and benda you put into place and your financial knowledge bagus, very possible. So that's one thing we cover. Okay, we're gonna reach an hour already. I'm gonna ask you. I know we didn't ask Rafiq a lot of questions. Do you have any questions for Rafiq tak? When it comes to financial things, tips for orang-orang B40 ke apa-apa, anything you've got? If not, I want to ask you, what is your wishes for Malaysia when it comes to what can we do to help each other to get out of the situation that we're in?
I don't know. Can I talk about EPF? I think the government need to do something about the current policy yang orang boleh withdraw the EPF tu kan. So I think this is pun one of the economies yang brief I pasal ni. So bila dia brief I pasal ni, I rasa this is an alarming situation. So we need to do something about it. Sebab kita ada terlalu ramai orang yang ada saving bawah RM10,000 dalam EPF. Selepas polisi yang orang boleh withdraw. So dalam dan dia punya gap antara bumi putra dan non bumi tu obviously akan sangat meningkat lah, dan paras kemiskinan untuk yang certain race ni memang ada yang perlu diperhatikan. But I lebih concern mengenai EPF withdrawal ni sebenarnya sebab apa yang di brief I adalah kita dah ada hampir separuh orang saving bawah 10,000 dan ada 4.7 juta lah sebelum dia punya withdrawal tu bawah 10,000, tapi lepas kita bagi orang withdraw 6.1 juta orang bawah 10,000 saving EPF, dan kebanyakan orang ni EPF tu je dia punya simpanan untuk hari tua kalau dia tak kerja kat government lah. So bila ada 6.1 juta ada bawah daripada RM10,000 untuk survive di hari tua, I think itu situation yang berbahaya dan juga satu perkara yang kita kena risaukan lah. Dan kita pun dah ada possibility yang Malaysia akan jadi aging society country yang kadar orang tua tu lebih tinggi. So bila kadar orang tua tu tinggi, dia perlukan duit untuk kelangsungan hidup, dalam masa sama saving dia tak ada ataupun tidak cukup, tidak sustainable. So I think itu perkara yang perlu diperhatikan. My wish is that government akan tengok kepada detail-detail yang kecil ni, engage lah kepada orang-orang yang pakar lah. I pun tak nak lah cakap you kena engage certain leaders ke apa. Itu akan jadi tidak fair dan juga tidak menyelesaikan masalah. So engage with pakar, solve this kind of problem so that my interest and intention is only satu lah. I nak solve problem. Tu je. Correct.
You know what? Once again, Doctor, on behalf of me and Vantage, thank you so much for spending time with us today. Borak-borak pasal benda ni. I know. And the truth is, kalau boleh, if there are topics that, when it comes to finances, that could help the B40 ke siapa-siapa that you speak to, please feel free to get in touch with us. And if we can create little talking points for them to learn to manage their finances and stuff like that, we will be more than happy to help. Betul tak, Rafiq?
Alright.
Yes.
Keep in touch.
Yeah.
Yes, please do
InsyaAllah.
keep in touch. So once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Siapa-siapa ask the questions and all tadi, sorry kita tak jawab. We'll jawab through comment section, and we'll if we've got any topics, we will address it the next time we come around. But once again, thank you so much for watching the show. If you can, share this with your friends so that people will understand more what people in BBOF 40 and the poverty level go through, so you understand more what certain people mean when they need help. Okay? So once again, thank you so much. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Rafiq. And thank you, everybody. And good night. Thank you so much for watching.
Bye. Have a good weekend, everyone.